So this evening I want to discuss just briefly how King James Version deceived the English-speaking Christians with just one word. One word kept the English-speaking people from understanding that in Luke 21, this section, along with Matthew 24, verses 15 to 25, and Mark 13, verse 14 through 23, is about Jerusalem's destruction and tribulation upon this people, meaning the people of Jerusalem, the Jews. One word made the English-speaking people unable to separate this tribulation from this tribulation. What do I mean? Now, I've gone over this several times before, but I'm going to dig just a little bit deeper and show you a couple of different languages, German and Spanish. So, verse 20, right here, it says, "And when you see Jerusalem compassed with armies, then you know that its desolation is nigh. Then let them which are in Judea," the Jews, "flee to the mountains, and let them which in the midst of it depart out, and let them not that are in the countryside enter back," or come to Jerusalem. Why? Because the tribulation was going to begin, or the siege was going to begin on Passover, when everyone was coming to Jerusalem. This is how vile the God of the Gentiles is. How wicked, how cruel Satan is. Because these are the days of vengeance, that all things which are written may be fulfilled. But woe unto them with child, and them get suck in those days, and there shall be great distress and ananke in Greek. It means anxiety, anguish in the land. In the Eretz, in the land of Israel, and wrath upon this people, and they shall fall by the edge of the sword, and shall be led away captive into all ethnos. Why did they put nations in there when it should be Gentiles? You see the word right here, ethnos, right here for the Gentiles. Inconsistency. But this is not where the deception, the deep deception occurred. I will continue, and I will show you where the deep deception occurred. "Into all the Gentiles, and Jerusalem will be trodden down of the ethnos." See? Ethnos. "Until the time of the ethnos be fulfilled." What is the ethnos? The ethnos is the Gentiles. Specifically, races, peoples, nations, the nations, heathen, the world. A race, a nation, the nations as distinct from Israel. Non-Israelitish nations. Usually referring to unbelieving Gentiles, non-Jews, which is where the word ethnic comes from. Ethnos explicitly means Gentiles. So what you see here is King James Version playing fast and loose with the word ethnos when it should mean Gentiles in each case. "And there shall be signs in the sun and the moon and in stars." Oh, until the time of the Gentiles is finished. To make complete. Finished. Over. And then, what happens? There shall be sign in the sun and in the moon and in the stars and upon the earth. Sunoke of the ethnos, the Gentiles. Okay? Now, so what we're going to do is we're going to look at German first. I don't do German very well. So, but I know what Den Heiden means. Do you know what it means? The heathen! Jerusalem trodden down by the heathen until der Heiden Zeit fulfill. Now, I don't know German, but I know that this means fulfill. Erfüllt means fulfill. Now, then it says here, they might have done it too. Let's do parallel here. And es werden Zeichen, all right? And es werden Zeichen, and there shall be signs in the sun. There's sun right here, and the moon, and the stars, and on the earth, word den Luten. I can't, but they don't have von den Heiden there. So I don't know what they put in here. Let's see if I can, and on the earth. Let's see here. Den Luten. Let's find out what this means. Shall we? English. The people. They did it too. The people, they didn't want to say the Gentiles. They didn't want to say tribulation or distress upon the Gentiles, upon the heathen, because if they did, then people would notice the difference. But it was the same word in translation. If you're going to say Den Heiden here, you've got to say Den Heiden here and not Den Luten. They deceived the German people too, and now you know why. The Germans were even worse. Even worse than the Romans, if that's even possible. Well, Germans are Romans. The Germans were the mainstay of the Roman army since its beginning. Now we go to Spanish. Spanish. So this is verse 25. Angustia de gentes. Well, you know that means anguish upon the Gentiles. So the Spanish one got it right. You see, if you go to verse 24, you see Jerusalem será jalada de las gentes. Gentiles, trodden down by the Gentiles. right? Here. What is it? You see the sun and the moon, the luna, and on the Australis, I guess that's the earth, Anguista de Gentes. The Gentes means Gentiles. So the Germans and the English were deceived by the manipulation of a single word. And that, folks, is the reason why the Christians will never understand that this part right here, from verse 20 through 24, is specifically the tribulation upon Judah and Jerusalem, and this one, verse 25, verse 28, is specifically the tribulation upon the Gentiles. And folks, let's not be deluded here. You see, this backs up Daniel 12. In fact, when you go and you read the Matthew 24 part, it says right here, "And when you therefore shall see the abomination of desolation spoken of by Daniel the prophet." So this is in reference to Daniel 9. But this whole thing is in reference to the book of Daniel. Not just Daniel 9, but also Daniel 12. And once I finish with Daniel 12, I'm going to be done with this video. How short it was. Go Daniel. Oh, how deceitful King James Version is. And you'll see this deceit once again in Daniel 12 and verse 1. "And at that time shall Michael stand up, the great prince, which stands for the children of your people." All right? So Michael, he only stands for Israel. "It shall come to pass a time of adversary." Sorrow. Sorrow means distress. We just read that in Luke 21 and verse 25. Distress upon who? Well, he spent much of Daniel, or the Daniel 9 and verse 27, talking about the tribulation upon Judah and Jerusalem. But here, he's talking about the tribulation on the Gentiles. It does not say in Hebrews, "such as never was since there was a nation even to that time." Boy, you want to talk about terrible deceit from King James Version. It's only one word. One word is this, and that is goey. "Shall be a time of distress, adversary, tribulation upon the goey." Not since there never was a nation even to that same. No, that's not what it says. Goey. One word. Goey. Gentiles. The time, your people, at that same time, your people shall be delivered, shall slip away, attain to find written in the book. And so King James Version says, everyone that shall be found written in the book. That's incorrect. It just says, find to be found written in the book. Now, how can I say that they translated this wrong as well? Romans 11, folks. Romans 11. Where's Romans? Romans 11. Verse 26, and so, after the time of the Gentiles comes to an end, just like we read, and so all Israel shall be saved, because it is written, there shall come out of Zion the deliverer, and who will turn away unholiness, impiety from Jacob, because this is my covenant unto them when I shall take away their sins. Now, people will say, no, you're misconstruing. No, I'm not. I'm going to finish this. I'm going to finish it. Many of them sleep in the dust of the earth shall awake. This is speaking of Israel. Some to everlasting life, and some to reproach and everlasting contempt. It is not up to you or I to determine which is going to be which. We're not the judge. All Israel shall be saved. Now, the new covenant Paul speaks of in Romans 11. Here, because it is written, there shall come out of Zion the deliverer who will turn away unholiness from Jacob. Because this is my covenant, the new covenant, the one written about in Jeremiah 31, verses 31 through 34, unto them, when I shall take away their sins. You see, because concerning the gospel, they might be your enemies, Romans, but concerning the election, they are the beloved. That means they are the beloved elect for the patriarch's sake, because the gifts and calling of Jehovah cannot be changed. I'll read this as well. Because you Romans in time past have not believed, yet you have now obtained mercy because of their unbelief. In this way, see, even so is incorrect. In this way, look, let me show you. In this way, these disobedient, see, you see what they're doing here? Disobedient. They disobeyed, they rebelled, and they refused conformity, okay? Also, now at the present, disobey. Because of the mercy that you received, mercy, they also will have obtained mercy. Because Jehovah has concluded everyone in unbelief or disobedience, everyone is disobedient, so that he might have mercy upon all. So why is no mercy going to be shown on the Gentiles in the time of the end? He said he's going to have mercy upon all. I'll show you. I'll show you the reason why, and then I'll close. James 2, verse 13. Now there are several different translations here. Many of them are good. Because judgment without mercy will be shown to anyone who has not been merciful. Were the Romans merciful? Remember, Paul was the apostle to the Gentiles, the Romans and the Greeks. Were they merciful to Judah and Jerusalem? No, they were not. History shows that the Gentiles, who call themselves Christian, were unmerciful to the Jews. From the time of the Nicene Creed until the Holocaust. All things in between. The pogroms, the Crusades, the blood libels. Who was it that did this? It was the Christians. And now you know that judgment without mercy is going to be shown to all who do not show merciful, has not been merciful, because mercy triumphs over judgment. So we just read that he would have mercy upon all. But the caveat is, all who showed mercy. Judgment without mercy will be shown to anyone who has not been merciful. For he will have judgment without mercy on them that showed no mercy. And that is the reason why the tribulation is coming upon the Gentile church.